Fam, what's going on? It is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Could I get a roll tide inside the comment box? What's going on? I appreciate you guys being here. Today is Tuesday. Today is September 10th. I appreciate each and every one of you being here on Bama Football on YouTube. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being here right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Let me know where you're watching from inside the comment box. I always enjoy getting to see where everybody is watching from. Yo, we got a big game this weekend. This is a big college football game. I'm going to play Luke Fickell, the head football coach of Wisconsin. I'm going to play his opening press conference. Then I'm going to upload it to the channel probably around 10:30 this morning, talking about Alabama. This is a great football coach. You played a really good up-and-coming football coach in Alex Golesh last week. Luke Fickell is established. And I was kind of reading through the comment box. I uploaded a short yesterday on Luke Fickell. You know, he wasn't mentioned anywhere after Coach Saban stepped aside for the Alabama job. Certainly qualified. I mean, this is a top coach. You guys remember him back at Cincinnati. You remember him in his long time that he was at Ohio State. I really like the way that he carries himself. Same type of kind of a calm demeanor, very professional, very along the lines of Coach Kalen DeBoer, to be honest. I mean, this is a quality football coach. Wisconsin got themselves a really good one. I think Wisconsin presents its own challenges winning in the Big Ten and being a top, even 6, 7, top 5 team in the Big Ten because of, the teams that are now inside of that conference. But this is a hell of a coach. And I think that he's going to have these guys ready for Alabama, certainly. They got I would imagine that this is the best quarterback that they've seen so far. The quarterback last week was pretty good. This guy can throw the ball a little bit. Surprisingly, he only has 1 touchdown pass in 2 games. JS Webb, what's up? I see you inside the comment box. Bama Still, what's going on? Amanda, good morning to you. Rocket Town, what's going on? Linda, No Flex, what's up? Jeremiah Taylor, good morning to you, man. Trey, what's going on? Roll Tide to you. Max Tooney, always checking in, and Donald Helbs checking in from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. That's what's up, man. There's some pretty good high school football around there, right? I appreciate everybody inside the Undefeated. The Undefeated is a comment box. I appreciate everybody being here. While we warm up the show, let's go to Luke Fickell and his opening comments going into this Alabama game. Again, I will upload the entire press conference. I chopped it up basically with him talking about Alabama. So I think the press conference, when I upload it at 10:30, will be about 9 minutes or something like that. But it's a good press conference, and here are his comments while we let everybody get checked in inside the comment box.
I think just recap-wise of last week, very similar to what I said after the game. I thought it was obviously a hard-fought game, but after watching, I do feel better about a lot of things. And defensively in particular, we played better than I actually thought. One series in the start of the second half was probably the one thing that jumps out. And then offensively, just efficiency. I think very efficient. Created some big plays in the first half. Second half, I don't know. We weren't quite as efficient. We didn't create some big plays. I'm not saying we changed modes a little bit, but there were a lot of really good things to grow upon. And then actually, the last 6 minutes of the game got a lot of those other guys in the ball game, even though, it was still a ball game. But you got those young freshman running backs, got some of those young offensive linemen in the game to take some really good reps in some situations where we still needed to move the ball and get some first downs and continue to run the clock. So as we move past that, we all know it's a big week, and this is something that was told to me, I think, the day after I took the job. Not that I was looking at that in particular as the whole thing happened, but over a year and a half ago, this was something that was brought up, and not something I spent a whole lot of time thinking about until now. And so this is a great opportunity, and I think our guys are extremely excited. As we went into fall camp, these were the things that were in front of us, and we knew that. This is, kind of the start. Not that the first 2 games weren't the start of the season, but we knew that this was going to be the opportunity and the point in time when we really, really get to see where we are and who we are. And so that challenge is in front of us, and I think we're really excited about it.
Luke, you kind of talked about the players and this being a special week. Some coaches have the philosophy of, hey, every game's the same. Do you like the idea that your guys feel like, hey, this is a unique type special opportunity?
I mean, us as coaches like to try to say, hey, it was a routine. We do everything the same way, no matter what it is, the faceless, nameless opponent. The realities of those things is probably not true. Some of us can hide our heads and live under a rock like I do, but our guys understand. Our guys are much more aware. And so this was something that had been talked about since spring football, and not by me. I'm not like standing up there and say, hey, this is Alabama week in spring ball, and we're going to do this. And we work on the rivalry weeks. We talk about the teams that we play historically. We don't talk about some of these games, but our guys are all aware of it. And so for them, it's been something that, just like me, it's been in the back of their heads, probably a little bit closer to the front of their heads too often. But it's something where I think they really do understand, like, this is what makes college football, right? There's two things. College football is great, but rivalries and games like this is what really kind of separates college football from everything else.
And say, Luke, former assistant of yours, is on the Alabama staff now with Colin. Is it, when it comes to preparation, are you worried just because he knows the defense schematically, or no one going up against the offense too?
No, I mean, sometimes too much, right? I mean, I think that there's a lot of things that they're doing defensively that look similar to some of the things that, I would probably recognize. But there's still, you can think too much. We've changed a bit defensively in some ways. Obviously, as Alex Grinch has come in, we've had some new set of eyes, and, in year two, found the things that we think we do better with the type of guys that we have. But there's a knowledge on both sides. I think there's a knowledge that he has of playing against the offense every day. But I don't think there's something that's extreme. It's not like, hey, they're going to know every signal. They're going to know everything. We're going to have to go silent. We're going to have to go like. If they worry too much about those things, just like the reverse, if I, watch the defense and say, okay, I think I know exactly what they're doing, then sometimes you spend too much time instead of, really focus on the things that you need to be able to do to be successful and to win a football game. So it's the same. There's some balance to that, but I don't think that there's something that's underlining that's going to have a greater impact on the game than the normal.
All right, that was Luke Fickell, the very good football coach for Wisconsin. Alabama takes on Wisconsin this coming Saturday in Camp Randall. It'll be Alabama's first game on the road. How you guys feeling about that one? 11 o'clock kick. I'm excited to see how Alabama does on the road in a challenging environment. I think kind of what Coach Fickell was talking about in terms of getting to see where you are at this point in time early on in the season. And we've been grading all the players after 2 games just because we're excited to finally get some analytical type numbers on the players since the game have started playing. Now, look, Wisconsin hasn't really played anybody, and I'm going to go through that in just a second. And, I mean, I guess you could argue neither has Alabama, although we saw South Florida. I think that's a pretty good football team. Are they a top 25 team? No. Are they a top 40 team? Probably. I mean, maybe even better than that. I don't know. South Florida is good. And they played a good 3 quarters of football. We all know that. Today on the show, we're talking about the injury report. We talked about Luke Fickell's press conference, which we just played. We're going to look at Wisconsin overall. We're going to look at the offensive line. I have a suggestion. I want to get some feedback when we're talking about this offensive line for this coming game this weekend in Camp Randall. Talk about players who need to step up. We're going to talk about some really impact players on both sides of the ball right now, and we're going to look at the freshman report all coming up next right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys being here. If you want to become a Tuesday show sponsor, definitely let me know. We appreciate you guys, inside the comment box supporting the show. So Tuesday sponsors definitely available, super chats. And if you guys are fan funders, we really appreciate that as well. Or just being hitting the thumbs up and being a subscriber of the channel. Thank you so much. We'll update that as the super chats come in. Let's look at the injury report. Look, I put Justin Jefferson on here because I didn't know how to list him in terms of like a player. So first of all, Justin Jefferson is not injured. He's perfectly fine. Now, I felt he was wronged with the targeting call. The more that we've seen the targeting call on social media, the targeting call was not it. However, he's not playing in the first half of this game against Wisconsin. Okay, he has to sit out the first half because the targeting call came in the second half on the season, as you can see. He's performing at a really good level. You look at the inside linebackers for Alabama, they're doing a really good job. Jahad Campbell, Deontay Lawson, He's played in a lot of snaps too, so he has to sit that first half, and I believe Wisconsin has a player that's sitting in the first half as well. So he's not injured. He's perfectly fine. I'm just putting him on the screen because it kind of goes with the players that are also on the injury report. So Justin Jefferson just out for quarters 1 and 2. All right. Kadyn Proctor, day to day. I would imagine, let me ask you, just a yes or a no. Do you think that he will play on Saturday? Do you think that Kadyn Proctor will play on Saturday? I'm going to go ahead and say yes inside the comment box. I think he'll play. I mean, he was out. It looked like he was practicing even before this game against South Florida. I think he'll play. Let me ask you, Undefeated. Do you think he'll play? Type Y if you think so. Type N if you don't. So far, 3 yeses and 2 nos. Josh Miller saying yes. It was interesting with the 49ers last night. You had Mason come in at running back. I guess he knew he was going to play on Thursday. He shows up and plays instead of Christian McCaffrey. I think these players already know clearly their game plan, the system, who's going to play. I mean, no one can go watch the practices anymore. I mean, that was all opened up. The practices are closed going forward. Nobody's going to the practices. However, with that said, it looks like there's the practices are still pretty open. It looks like there's a celebrity, at practice every single day here in Alabama. But that's just kind of the new way. I think he's going to play. Cole Adams, how about this? I thought this was good news. I thought it was an elbow injury. Coach Kalen DeBoer said yesterday is day-to-day. Man, you know what? Coach Kalen DeBoer, number one, he has Jeff Allen, who's incredible, but also the injuries that Alabama have had, they haven't been significant. I mean, other than, poor Jalen Hell, who we're keeping track of, and I still don't know what Jeremiah Alexander, his injury is, but man, they look, Jaden Roberts, Daniel Hill, Kadyn Proctor doesn't look serious. Cole Adams doesn't look serious. Xavier Brown wasn't. There's been I think maybe 10 guys that have been injured, and they all come back within 2 days. Right? Me too, Josh. Josh, I was thinking the same thing, man. I was like, as soon as I saw his elbow, I was like, geez, man, he's out. He's day to day. Man. So that's good. I mean, things are good. I personally think Kadyn Proctor probably plays. Dude, exactly, Luke. I don't know, man, because when we were doing the watch along and we saw him with the elbow, I was like, oh man, poor dude. But thank goodness, man, because you probably not going to see him at punt return, right? I mean, even if he plays, I like Jalen Mbakwe back there. Look, Cole Adams doing a good job too. I don't know. Jalen Mbakwe just kind of has it, but he's good. So the good news is Cole Adams day to day, probably playing today, practicing. And then Jeremiah Alexander, no idea, and then Jalen Hell out until further notice. So that's the injury report going into this game against Wisconsin. Looking at the Badgers, we'll go full screen. 2-0 on the season. That's Tyler Van Dyke. He's our quarterback. He's a transfer from Miami. They beat Western Michigan in the opener, 28-14. Beat South Dakota. I think South Dakota, aren't they the number 1 team in FCS? 27-13. Tyler Van Dyke's our quarterback. 406 yards this season. Kind of low numbers with only 1 touchdown. He's 38 of 63 for 60%. I watched some of his film. I mean, I was moderately impressed. He can throw the ball, but I wasn't like, oh man, this dude is throwing darts. But with that said, I think he's a better quarterback than these 2 other quarterbacks in terms of accuracy. I don't know. Have you guys seen him play? Do a watch on Western Michigan or South Dakota. Let me know what you think. Jarvis inside the comment box. The line moving a little bit now. Alabama by 16. Over under 51.5. I checked the weather too. So it looks like in Madison, Wisconsin on Saturday morning, there could be a little bit of rain. I think the high is 80. Chez Mellusi. Man, Mellusi's been there for a long time. He has 134 yards at running back with 3 touchdowns. Will Pauling is their leading receiver, 10 catches for 108 yards. They don't have a lot of glaring like stat stars through 2 games, right? And then Hunter Wohler on the defensive side at safety, 106 snaps, a grade of just 73.7. I mean, even when you look at the grades, it's not an overwhelming type team. 2015, the 2 teams last met, it was 35-17. I mean, do you guys remember the last game in 2015 when they played? The Chez Mellusi dude, he's tough. He's a good runner. The one thing that did stand out to me when I did watch this game was the fact that their offensive line got a really big push off the ball. So, but on the flip side, I think Alabama's defensive line is playing some damn good football. I think this team will try to play time of possession football, try to get the ball to Mellusi, but I just don't know if they have the weapons to keep up with Alabama. At first, I was a little bit nervous about this line, 16, but now I think they're a physical team. But I don't know. I think Alabama about to beat the brakes off these guys now that I get like closer to Wednesday. And considering, this game against South Florida, I think that are you guys feeling that Alabama beats up on Wisconsin? Hey, Jay, what's up, man? Welcome to the Fan Thunder Club. We appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for joining us. We love you, man. We appreciate you. I don't know. Sometimes I think the games are going to be a little bit tighter. I don't think this one will be tight. I said this yesterday. I kind of looked at this game as last year's game against Texas A&M. When Alabama went to A&M, very challenging environment. Same thing with Camp Randall. It's very loud. It'll be hostile. They're doing like the red-white within their stadium. You see this? And yeah, Fickell, I think, is a great coach, 100%. But I just don't think that they have the athletes to stop Alabama. And the quick strike ability for the Crimson Tide is, probably the best in the country. I don't really think they have a playmaker too, man. I'm serious. I just sometimes I feel these games are going to be a little bit tighter. I don't with this one. So for your Wisconsin fans, I'm sure you could use this as rat poison or whatever, but I just think that Alabama is about to give it to Wisconsin. Maybe I'm wrong. I have no idea. So currently, this is how the Alabama offensive line looks, okay? Kadyn Proctor, day-to-day. He hasn't played a snap yet. I think he'll be good to go for this coming Saturday. Tyler Booker at left guard. Now, half of his snaps are at left guard, and the other half are at tackle. Parker Brailsford, 109 at center. Jaden Roberts at right guard, 108. Wilcom Formby at 105 with a grade of 51.3. And Elijah Pritchett at 48.1. Only played in 6 snaps against South Florida. So I started thinking about this offensive line, who has definitely underperformed, right? The last 2 years we've been really hyping up this Alabama offensive line. I have no idea, why these guys aren't performing at a higher level. I still believe in these guys, to be honest, and I started to think about this offensive line. I wanted to throw out a suggestion. Let me ask you, inside the comment box, if let's say Pritchett starts at right tackle and he's just not it and Formby's not it, do you think that this potentially could be something that Alabama does? And T, if you're listening, could we update the number for Geno Vandermark and for Kadyn Proctor on this graphic? Kadyn Proctor's 74 and I think Geno Vandermark 65. Maybe you put Jaden Roberts at right tackle and Gino Vandermark at guard, I don't know. I mean, just because he's a good guard doesn't mean he's a good tackle. I'm sure they've already thought about this. I mean, Tyler Booker played tackle in this last game and had a grade of 41. The grades are adjusted by like Tuesday, but still, I mean, it wasn't like a 89 type grade or something like that from Booker at left tackle. Look, a while ago, people didn't want Pritchard to start. Now they don't want Welcome Formby to start. I don't know. Redfish Stalker saying leave the middle alone and have the tight ends come. Yeah, and you know what? I did see a lot of tight ends. I mean, you look at C.J. Dupree and Robbie Oots. Those guys played a lot of snaps in this last game. And maybe that's what we see more. I'm not sure. Jeremiah Taylor saying that kind of diminishes the power of the inside run. That's a really good point, too. And you look at how effective Alabama has been running the football, and if they need to run the football, so no, nobody can watch practice anymore. Yeah, so you could see the practice during fall camp, but now they've closed everything down. Like once the season started, they cut everything down. But with that said, they still allow, I mean, there's a former pro or, for a lot of former coaches come back to hang out with Alabama football. I mean, and they still have the music and stuff like that. I mean, it's just they tighten things up just a little bit. The impact players, I think, so far through 2 games, specifically on offense, are these 4 right here. And we've talked back and forth about Jalen Milroe, but I mean, when all is said is done, and I'm going to continue to stay on the Jalen Milroe train. I don't care. I feel that he is the best quarterback for the job. I'm going to stand behind him. I know we go back and forth about that all the time. I had a video about people talking about Jalen Milroe. I just think that he's the guy that can win you games. That's it. And the stats are stats, but the most important thing that you got to do is win. And I think with him, you win games. I want to get sidetracked and start talking about make this a Jalen Milroe show. I'm a Jalen Milroe supporter. That's me. 111 snaps, 63.5 grade through 2 games, 24 of 36, 66% passing wise, 399-yard passing with 4 sacks. He has 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 22 rushing attempts, 81 yards, and 4 touchdowns. What's up, Chris? I appreciate you being here, man. Ruben, Kevin, I see you. What's up, man? I appreciate you being here. Big Bib, what's up, man? Thank you so much. Other impact players for the Alabama Crimson Tide, how could I not list the 2 running backs, right? I mean, the production, it speaks volumes. I mean, you look at the overall yards. I mean, Jalen Milroe has 526 total yards, right? And then you look at the fact that Jam Miller has almost 200 yards. You look at the fact that Justice Haynes, in just 16 attempts, has 143 yards. They combined have 4 touchdowns, right? I mean, those 3 on the left, my goodness. And then welcome on Ryan Williams. I mean, this guy, people calling him a generational talent for sure. Damn, man. 82 snaps. The guy's caught 6 passes, and 3 of them are for touchdowns, right? 207 yards. These are your impact players. If you play NCAA football, these are the guys that get the, stars on them when you're playing the game. And I don't know if they're going to, yeah, me too, Kevin. And I don't know if they're going to have Kevin Law or Kendrick Law inside, the game plan. He wasn't targeted last game. Only got, I don't think he had a reception. That's all I'm saying, man. Bama still, I just think specifically, if I'm quarterbacking the team, Bama, I see you, man. No, it's all good. You can come. The Georgia fans said the same thing. The Georgia fans said the exact same thing last year, that Jalen Milroe couldn't beat them and that he's not the quarterback for the job. We see the same thing. Same thing's going to happen on September 28th. all these Georgia fans are going to come in here and say the same thing. You beat them last year. People forget about that game. That's a one game that people completely forgot about. Showed the graphic of all the SEC quarterbacks. None of those guys won the SEC title except Jalen. Josh, I've been saying that for a long time, but they're clearly not going to. And I'm talking about Kendrick Law being utilized like Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel last night lined up at running back, lined up at wide receiver. Kendrick Law could certainly do the same thing, right? Bama Mike, what's up, man? I appreciate you checking in from New Jersey. Dude, he's everywhere. And if you have him on your fantasy football team like me, you had a nice little night. The problem is I didn't start Mason. I should have, but they didn't tell you he was going to start till like 1 minute in the game. Impact players on defense. Look at this graphic. I had to stretch it out. Okay, look. Okay, the grades on the other side of the ball, they're not that good, to be honest. I mean, you got some big hitters and they score quick, but the grades aren't that good. The grades on the defense are good. Tim Keenan, man. Tim Keenan, I mean, that guy's got some nice rhythm, too. Do you see that little dance he did? 74 snaps, a grade of 77.8. 12 tackles. Absolutely crushing it. LT Overton having a monster year, right? Q-Rob, how about Q-Rob, man? This guy, his father passed away last week. My goodness, man. Like, God, what is he, 21? 22 maybe? And his father passes away? And the guy still goes out and performs at a very high level. Still plays. Man, my heart goes out for him. What an individual. That's amazing. To be able to retain that mindset, right? To still want to be with your teammates. And that, I remember, when Coach Loxley's son passed away many years ago and he was on the staff, he came right back to work and Coach Saban was like, hey, like, don't you want to go be with your family? And he's like, I need to be here. I need to be with the team. I need to get back, working. It's hard, man. If anybody's ever lost somebody, it's hard to stay on track right away. I mean, my goodness, Q-Rob, geez. Prayers up for him and his family. He has 2 sacks on the team. He has a grade of 79.5. He's not listed as a starter at the Wolf position. It's actually Quay Russo. So I think you could, swap those 2 players, but they're each having really good seasons to start off the year. Jahad Campbell playing at a really high level. Actually an exceptional level. I mean, this is like a top 10 pick right now. 113 snaps, excuse me, a grade of 89.8, 20 tackles, which leads the team, 2 tackles for loss, pass breakup. Seems like he's everywhere. Seems like Jahad Campbell is literally everywhere. I wanted to highlight Damani Jackson. He's done a really good job, in my opinion. I get it. These quarterbacks haven't been able to throw the ball, and we'll have a little bit more data points. But so far, I mean, he's been targeted 4 times. He's only allowed 1 reception. He has 3 tackles, 2 pass breakups, a grade of 64.5. And I guess I still have my eye on him. Mitchell, I don't really understand your comment. Are you going to walk back on your comment comparing Law to Samuel? Or I don't understand what you're saying. I just think I would like to see Kendrick Law used in a variety of ways at Alabama. That's the point I was trying to make. You have Malachi Moore, 136 snaps, grade of 73.3, tackles. He has 9. He's a captain. He has pass breakups. He's everywhere. In the later part of the game against South Florida, he stood up, man. He had a really nice showing. Oh, I get what you're saying, Mitchell. Yeah, I think regarding Mitchell, he just hasn't had opportunities, but maybe those opportunities are because he isn't good enough. I thought because of his body type and his speed and his kind of versatility, I think he's one of the fastest players on the team, that he would be utilized in a specific way. But clearly, he's not going to be utilized in that way. So if he doesn't get the ball, I guess we'll never understand if he can do that. And maybe that's because the coaches don't have confidence in him, right? Or maybe it's because, he's just not like, because the coaches are going to make sure that the right players get the ball, right? There's a reason why Ryan Williams is getting 7 targets, right? There's a reason why Jeremy Bernard is getting 7 targets. There's a reason why Kendrick Law isn't getting the ball thrown to him. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, no, I'm with you on that. No, it makes sense. And at the end of the season, if he has, because think about it, last year, he didn't even catch for 200 yards. So we're just over here wishing on a star, right? And that'll be because of the coaches and probably Milroe. They're like, look, every time this guy touches the ball, he fumbles, right? He has two touches to my knowledge. One is for a touchdown. The other is for a 50-yard, kick return, which was a fumble. You see what I'm saying? And then you have Keon Sabb, who's been playing really well. So I feel good about the defense, and specifically the defense has been playing really well on third down. I brought this up yesterday, and it's hard because these first 2 teams suck. Like, let's just call it what it is. South Florida, I guess, is good, but the quarterback can't throw the ball. 5 of 36 on third down. I think it'll be the same thing against Wisconsin, to be honest. Okay? I think teams are going to have trouble against Alabama because of their speed, because of their pass rush. Tyler Van Dyke will be a little bit better, but 5 of 36. Hats off to the defense. The defense is playing. They're only allowing 8 points a game? Is 16 divided by 2 still 8? Right? So I love the defense. Here's the freshman report. There was 19 freshmen that played in that first game, and there's been a lot of freshmen to play this season. The red F doesn't mean like they're redshirted or anything, but I probably change that out to just a regular F. I just wanted something to pop like on the graphics. Let's start on the left and work our way to the right. Ryan Williams, 82 snaps, a grade of 73.3. 6 receptions, 207 yards, 3 touchdowns. This is crazy. The 2 running backs, Daniel Hill and Kevin Riley, have certainly got opportunities. 15 snaps, 11 snaps, 9 attempts, 7 for Kevin Riley. I thought they each looked good, to be honest. Justin Okoronkwo. Now, here's an interesting point. So with Justin Jefferson out the first half, and with Jeremiah Alexander out with the undisclosed injury, theoretically, you could see Justin Okoronkwo or Kadyn Jones in the first half against Wisconsin. Hey, Scott, happy birthday to you, man. I hope that you have an amazing birthday. I hope you make this year the best year of your life. I hope you have gratitude. I hope that you know that people care about you, and happy birthday to you, man. Absolutely. Roll Tide to you, and I'm sure, you have some cake lined up. If you don't, go out and spoil yourself. Go out to a good meal and enjoy this beautiful thing called life. So happy birthday, Scott. I was thinking those 2 inside linebackers could absolutely play. You know, it's crazy. Look at the next 4 players are in the secondary, and they all play. Xavier Brown, 94 snaps. Grade of 59.7. He's been targeted 5 times, only allowed 1 reception. Now, I will say this about the offensive, the secondary, and this is fact. These guys were burnt. Brown was burnt. I think he was burnt twice, and Red Morgan was burnt in this last game against South Florida. That happened. Like, we all saw it happen. The quarterback just couldn't get the receiver the ball. Jalen Milroe, thought he's looked good as well. He's been targeted 5 times. He's allowed 3 receptions. Man, these guys are growing up right now in front of our eyes. Zay Mincy, 19 snaps in that first game. And Red Morgan, he's been playing a lot. 51 snaps. I think Devontae Smith has like 70 snaps. So he's been playing a lot of the Husky position. 2 tackles and 1 pass breakup. And they went after him in that first game too. He did a good job. Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys being here. Today we talked about the injury report, the Luke Fickell press conference. We looked at Wisconsin. Talked about kind of some O-line suggestions, and you guys had some good feedback there. We talked about who needs to step up. We talked about the freshman report. I have Luke Fickell's press conference that I'll be dropping at 10:30 on the YouTube channel, so you can watch it. We talked about the top 25. If you haven't seen it, here's my top 10. Georgia, Texas, Ohio State, Bama, Ole Miss, USC, Miami, LSU, Tennessee, Utah. Had a caller yesterday call from Southern California and said that he's not buying into USC yet, so I think I might have to adjust that. I just was excited about them because they're playing some defense finally. Now, I do have respect for Texas, specifically the way that they, handled Michigan. It's not the same Michigan type team, but the quarterback certainly really effective. The tight end's good. Isaiah Bond's good. Georgia, the first game that I watched them against Clemson, I didn't watch them against Tennessee Tech. But their quarterback, nobody talks about him, right? Jarvis likes the top 10. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Bump up Miami. Miami's good. Look at all these teams, too. What do they have in common? Most of them have a coach that coached with Saban, right? This is like the Saban top 10. Look at this. Kirby Smart, former DC. Texas, Steve Sarkisian, former OC. Ohio State. I think there's a coach that went to Ohio State from here. Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin, former offensive coordinator, right? Miami, Mario Cristobal. That's crazy. A lot of those guys just peaking at the right time. The amazing thing, too, is Coach Kalen DeBoer is 2-0 against Steve Sarkisian. I dropped Oregon out. Oregon struggled in week 1 and in week 2. And on the AP, they're still in the top 10. Same thing with Penn State. Does anyone have the Penn State in their top 10? I don't. I wouldn't touch Penn State. They're not it. Oregon might somehow be okay, but I don't know. Idaho, Boise State. 2 teams from Idaho. I've never been to Idaho, and I really would like to go out there. It looks beautiful. I bet the fishing out there and the hunting is amazing. Penn State's super overrated. That's why, Utah, they got a pretty good defense. I don't know if they're a top 10 team. Oh, Missouri, I guess, could put in there. I had no idea. Here's the way that the SEC looks. I think this is a good graphic. Boise State is a better team than South Florida. Huh. I would like to see that game. I'll tell you that. Yeah, Clint, I put LSU up in my top 10. I like the way that the quarterback played, man. I really did. Against USC. I get it. I think their running back is now out, and that'll probably, affect their play. But I was kind of impressed with their team. Here's a look at the SEC standings. South Carolina up on top because they beat Kentucky. They're the only team to play an SEC game. Think about this, and this is important to remember, fam, is that the 1 and 2 teams in the SEC play for the SEC title game. There's so much talent. It's unbelievable. This conference is just, with the addition of Texas, I guess, I know Oklahoma only beat Houston 16-12, but it's just solid top to bottom. Auburn losing to Cal. I can't believe that. Texas A&M lost to Notre Dame. That was embarrassing. Well, at home, they should have won that game, and then Notre Dame goes and loses to Northern Illinois. We knew that they were a pretender to begin with. How about Vanderbilt? Vanderbilt's off to a nice little start. these were our game balls for last week. I mean, how can we not give a game ball to, Tim Keenan after that performance? We talked about him. And I talked about this too. I mean, the good of this team is like really good. Jam and Justice, 337 yards with 4 touchdowns. Inside backers playing absolutely outstanding. The third down defense, as I said at the beginning of the show, 5 of 36, only 36%. Ryan Williams is phenomenal. James Burnup, the team's punter. I would imagine there's other sites talking about him too, or other YouTube shows. I would hope so. And Milroe, 526 total yards, 9 touchdowns, and no interceptions. No, I know Rocket Town, man. Yeah, that's why I'm like low-key rooting for Vanderbilt. Jerry Kill's like on the staff somehow, and Diego Pavia is still body slamming people. Brian Kelly really hasn't won anything, right? I mean, I don't even know. I'm sure he's won some major bowls. I don't have the graphics in the stats ahead of me, but I don't know. The bad for this team right now, and the more that I dug into it, the third down actually isn't that bad, 50%. Clearly, you want to be above 50%, but like, I think Texas right now is like 57%. And like Ole Miss is like, I don't know, something crazy like 77. The penalties are just terrible. I would imagine that gets better. The fumbles, 2 snaps for fumbles. Kendrick Law, a running back. That's not good. I think they're like 100 in terms of like turnovers right now in the country. They've been sacked 5 times. 4 of those have been on Milroe. 1 has been on Simpson. The offensive line, clearly we've talked about that. They need to tighten up, and the DBs were absolutely burnt. But the penalties is the one thing. The penalties and the turnovers. I mean, I certainly think that this team, and we all know that this team every single year, no surprise that they have enough talent to absolutely, win every single game on their schedule. You're not going to win every game on your schedule if you're averaging 89 penalty yards, and if you're fumbling, if they've fumbled 6 times, that's 3 times a game. So you can't do that. I showed this graphic, and this got a lot of feedback. Here's a look at the SEC grades overall. I didn't even know Tyler Green was playing like that. At 92.4, I still take Jalen Milroe over him. Jackson Dart. He was talking about, I saw an interview with Jackson Dart. He was saying, listening to Lane Kiffin before the play, and remember it cuts off at 15 seconds, but he's a good quarterback. I thought he was good last year. Alabama did a really good job against him. And they're not playing. Still, people are so used to Alabama and Ole Miss playing that they're not playing this year. Maybe they'll play in the SEC title game. That'd be dope. So, yeah, that's kind of what we're watching this week going into the Wisconsin game. I don't know. Overall, I'm feeling more confident kind of day by day. It's going to be challenging playing on the road. But this team, they'll thrive. I think that, they know that they didn't play a complete 4 quarters, and they'll tighten up. This team will be a challenge, and the environment will be challenging, and the coach is very good. He's very talented. But, hey, Bill B. Miller, what's up, man? Appreciate you. It's your new favorite, man. Oh, well, welcome on in. We appreciate you. Yeah, live Monday at 10 a.m., 9 a.m. Tuesday through Friday, and then we have a watch along during the game. Sunday we bring on content here as well. So yeah, man, appreciate the super chat and welcome on in, man. If you want to be a fan funder, it's $2.99 to support the show. This is what I do for a full-time basis, so we appreciate you. We have a lot of regulars that are up in the crib, and then as news happens, we got you covered right here on Bama Football on YouTube. In case you missed it, B. Miller, we went over kind of this injury report as well earlier today. I listed Justin Jefferson. Just look, he's not. Nothing is wrong with him at all. He just got wrong. Look, I'm going to say if it's targeting, it's targeting, and we can say yeah, it was targeting. The guy's out. It didn't look like it was targeting on this young man, so he's going to miss the first half. Let me ask you real quick. Do you guys think that let me ask you some yes or no's real quick. My first yes or no for you is, do you think that Alabama beats Wisconsin by more than 16 points? Byron's like, we need to start grading the refs. Ed, you're going to need a couple sideline passes for Georgia? That'd be dope. So yes or no, will Alabama beat Wisconsin by more than 16 points? Yes or no? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I'm saying yes. I'm saying I think 3 touchdowns. I don't know. I'm feeling like really confident about this game this weekend. I think you don't really need a bounce back game, but I think they'll play better on the road. And now they have a little bit of rat poison, right? People telling them, yeah, they're not that good. Kaysen with the super chat. T, you know what we could do too is if you screenshot like cases. Oh, well, I guess we see it differently, and then we could bring it up on another screen. Remember how we used to, like a long time ago? I see a lot of people having it, like Samuel. Look, my goodness, 55-10, and I know this isn't our score prediction show, but I'm usually we do that on Friday. But still, I'm surprised to see a lot of scores. I don't know. I'm feeling like much more confident about this game as we go in. Yes, and the game's at 11 a.m. Central Time, and it's supposed to be raining. Christopher comes in and he's like, we also thought we would beat the you know what out of South Florida too. Yeah, that's a good point. And boy, oh boy, did they come with it. Special thanks to our show sponsors today. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. We got B. Miller up in here with 10 and Case with 10. See, we could just go large and just put their name like, you know, on the large board. We appreciate you. Ed Kelly, I mean, I think right now in terms of, you know, the injury report with Kadyn Proctor, I think he's day-to-day. I think he'll play. All right, I got a couple more yes or no questions for you guys that I wanted to ask real quick. These are always fun. All right, here we go. Full screen. We'll do it now. Will Jalen Milroe, see you, Kevin. Have a good day, man. Will Jalen Milroe throw for over 275 against Wisconsin? Over 275 against Wisconsin. Yes or no? He didn't throw for that last game. Devin, what's up, man? Thanks for being here. 275, more or less. Chris is saying no. JS Webb is saying yes. Jeff, I know. That's the thing. He's only completed. You're talking about Tyler Van Dyke. He's only thrown 1 touchdown pass in 2 games. I'm going to say no. 275, no. No, but close. Okay. All right. So far, no on that one. Okay. How about this? Let's see. Will Jam Miller and Justice Haynes run for over, let's see. How about, do you think that Jam Miller and Justice Haynes combined, okay, will rush for over 210 yards? Combined. Jam can run for 140. Justice can chime in. So 210 for Jam Miller and Justice Haynes. Yes or no combined? Someone's like, combined? Yeah. I think so. I think I'm going to take the yes on this. I could see, let's see. Jam runs for 85. Yeah, Justice runs for 55, 100%. That was easy. Bama Mike saying no. I think they will. I think that these two will be really utilized in this game. I think these two have monster games this weekend. Stone Cold's like, hell yeah. All right, Derek Wilson. Derek, what's up, man? Good to see you, bro. Sammy, what's up, man? Samuel's like, yeah, if the offensive line is back to normal. Okay, I got one more for you. Ryan Williams. Okay, this one's easy. Will Ryan Williams score a touchdown? Will Ryan Williams score a touchdown? Yes or no? Scored 3 in 2 games. Will Ryan Williams score a touchdown? I think so. I would thought about asking will he score 2 touchdowns. Then I thought maybe getting a little bit greedy. I think he continues his scoring streak, right? So that one's easy too. Okay. Okay. I got another one. Yeah, Aaron's like, duh, right? I like that, Aaron. Okay, how about this one? Will Kendrick Law, will he catch 2 passes? 2 passes for Kendrick Law. Yes or no? 2 for Kendrick Law. He has 1 reception this year for 22 yards. Kendrick Law, 2 receptions. Yes or no? Christopher saying yes. B. Miller saying no. This actually a lot more yeses than I thought. Jet sweeps count, so yes. Okay. Okay, my last one. All right. I'm going to go to our special teams. Okay. Will Graham Nicholson, Alabama's kicker, have more than 7 points? More than 7 points for Graham Nicholson, Alabama's kicker. See, this is interesting because, I don't think he's kicked the field goal yet this season, right? So then you looked at how many touchdowns is Alabama going to score. They really haven't needed to even kick a field goal. They just kind of ran right in the end zone. Everybody's saying yes. You look at, how many, let's say Alabama scores 4 touchdowns. He has 4 points, and that's 28, right? They're going to score more than that. And you kick a field goal, there's your 7 points. I don't know. These are hard sometimes. It's like 7. What if they just score 6 touchdowns? 42, right? I think that's a tough one. If I were to put it at 8 or 9, you're definitely not taking 9, but you might take 7. That one's hard. It's me, Marvin, saying yes. See, I think it's the first field goal attempt. I would say he kicks his first field goal, too, in this game. So there's 3 automatically. Is Alabama going to score 4 touchdowns? Yes, right? So there it is. But that one's hard. Is he going to, have 7 points? I don't know. That's a tough one. All right, fam. Well, you know where to find me every single morning, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right here on Bama Football on YouTube, live at 9 a.m. I have content as it comes out, too. I'm always working on stuff. I usually package something for the evening time, probably like 7, 8 a.m. I know that there's the debate. The presidential debate is tonight. So I will probably have something before then so you guys can, see the YouTube video before then. And then I have news as it happens, or I do a lot of YouTube shorts. Those are just short clips that I upload. Also on Facebook, TikTok. Oh, and Spotify, too. If you want to listen like on the go, just go to Spotify and look for Bama Football on YouTube. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for, B. Miller. Welcome. You just found the channel. Thank you so much for being here. And Case with the super chat. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you guys. Pre-game the debate. Yeah, I appreciate you guys so much for being here. I'm actually going to go check out the old shoulder today. I have a appointment to go. It's actually feeling a lot better. As you know, I'm really serious about my workouts. I'm part of a men's group, which is Fitness, Faith, and Fellowship here in Tuscaloosa. So you have the fitness, the fellowship, and the faith component of it. And I love it. Every single morning at 5 a.m. we're working out. And there's always a spiritual message at the end with guys. So I love it. But my shoulder has been giving me a little problem. So I have an appointment today. I'll keep you guys posted. So I appreciate you guys' thoughts and prayers on that. Shoulders. That's why I like Kadyn Proctor. I'm watching his shoulder and I'm like, my shoulder. But it's starting to feel good, So we'll see how it goes. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. Please, look, there's a lot of different YouTube channels that cover Alabama football. Definitely check them out. Support them. People are doing a really good job. The recruiting sites, your team reporters, all those guys that are covering Alabama football, we have a lot of respect for those people. So definitely follow them, support them. You look at all the people covering Alabama football. I'm serious. I have seen them in the field working their ass off to do new content, to whether they have a small content creator, whether someone used to work here, whatever. Like, these guys are really putting their heart and soul into it. My heart and soul goes into every single show as well. I appreciate you guys. Stay blessed. Roll Tide to you. Have an amazing rest of your Tuesday. And I'll catch you soon right here on Bama Football on YouTube. 10:30, look for Luke Fickell's press conference